everybody. This is the 9th of October 2025, and I've been thinking about how cool the Florida Keys are. There's nothing like it in the entire United States. And if you ever get a chance to go all the way down to Key West, which is the last of these tiny little islands that are all connected by what we call in Florida the Overseas Highway. Key West is just an amazing place, and you can see some really amazing things and learn a lot about the history of the United States. For example, one of the things that made our United States so amazing was that pirates, real pirates, used to travel around the world in little sailing ships, and from time to time they would meet sailing ships that had good people on it, and they would raid those ships, kill the people mostly, or take them captive, and they would steal all the riches that might have been on those ships. Well, as it turns out, pirates sometimes got millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars as a result of these raids. And as you go to Key West, there's a museum there that has some of that money that's been recovered over the years that scientists and adventurers have found these beautiful gold bars and silver medallions that were in the ocean as a result of these ships sometimes losing their cargo or having to throw their cargo overboard to make the ship faster to get away from another ship that was chasing them. It's really quite amazing, and there's a man who discovered a lot of this. His name is Mel Fisher, and the museum is named after him, but it's really fascinating to see. But there are many other things to see when you're in Key West and do. One of them is what we call the sundown event, and it's at the end of Key West, and you can watch the sun going down, and as the Earth travels around the sun, and you see the sun, it looks like it's going down right into the ocean. It's really spectacular. And at that event, which I've been to with my family and my children, who at the time were very, very young, you can see some really great entertainers they may be acrobats, and they may be jugglers, and they may be many types of fascinating entertainers, and it's all free. So that's something that you should see if you ever get a chance to travel that way. It's spectacular. There is a hotel that was built there that, believe it or not, a long time ago I had the privilege of building that hotel, and it was called, and still is there today, it was called the Casa Marina Marriott Hotel, and it exists because way back in the 1700s and 1800s, And of course, to this day, part of it was built because it was a Spanish resort. I'll call it a resort. It was actually like a Spanish castle that was there. And the Marriott Hotel at the time decided not to tear all of it down and have it go to waste. Instead, they added on to it and turned it into an incredible Marriott Hotel. And it exists today, and it's amazing to see. And there are many stories that are associated with it, and I'll just tell you one of those stories. It was the only big resort castle at the time where kings and queens and pirates, once they would get to that place in the 17 and 1800s, there would be no fighting. It was called a place that was neutral. There was no fighting ever. And there were times that they would have tables where everyone would gamble, and the pirates would gamble right alongside with the kings and queens, and an amazing amount of money was exchanged, and we'd call some of that money was bounty money. Some of that money was found off of ships, and some of that money was taken from other ships, and it was really incredible. And then that all can be seen at this museum. So if you get a chance to see that, it would be really great. You'd have a great time. I remember going there with my children who were very young, and I'll tell you one great episode that happened during that event. One of my children, his name was Sam, and actually Samuel, but one of the entertainers was throwing knives while he was riding atop of a very high unicycle and balancing himself and throwing knives. And he asked Sam, just pick someone out of the audience, and it was my son, who was a very good-looking kid, to help him. And Sam was supposed to throw these giant knives that were about this long. I mean, really pretty big, heavy things. He was supposed to throw them up to him, which he did. And then he would juggle these knives and do spectacular things and throw these knives at targets and hit them while he was juggling and balancing very high in the air, maybe 18 feet in the air, on a unicycle. So that's just one of the stories that I have to tell. I'm running really long on this topic, but it's really fascinating. So go on the Overseas Highway, go to Key West, and have yourself a great time. Goodbye.